Hey, good morning. And we are live for Financial Fitness Friday. I hope everyone's having a great week. Happy New Year. Even though I think this is our first Financial Fitness Friday for the year, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, there we go. So, I want to talk about some of the best moves I think that you guys can make, okay, in 26. All right. And this is going to be all based on finances. We might actually run this for Mindset Monday too, because I think that'll be a pretty cool series to cover. All right. So just starting out, I think one of the biggest things that you can do is change your habits and change your habits with a focus on actually building wealth and having stability and not dealing with the ups and downs. Okay. And so what that means is one, actually understand, set a budget. Two, make sure that you have 6 months of cash reserves if you're a business, 6 months of operating capital. And then after you fill up those reserves, every dollar should go towards investing. All right. What do I like in 26? I think a lot of the cryptocurrencies are going to be on sale, believe it or not. I know we've started, they are now. I think they're going to go down further and have a bigger sale. Okay. So, how would I play that? How would I do that? I would do it as any swing. Anytime you see a 5% drop or more, I would put as much disposable cash in as you can. And I would have weekly buys set up. So we always talk about financial discipline. Okay. I would tell you that if you know you can afford $50 a week, $100 a week, if you want to add a zero to that, do that and load up on Bitcoin and XRP. All right. From a business perspective, right? Or let's say, what else can you invest in that is going to multiply and really make a difference in your life? Skills and knowledge, guys. Okay. Get familiar with AI. Read as much as possible. Develop skill sets that will allow you to earn more money. I think that's tremendous, especially if you're a business owner. You know, um, learning AI is the first step to implementing it. Okay. And I can tell you, a lot of you guys, most people do not read enough, do not work on themselves enough, because if you did, you kind of would be in a different, you should be in a different position. All right. And then there's a couple other things that I think. I think that you're going to see some crazy swings this year with currencies. The US dollar, BRICS as it gets going. And I think you're going to see more instability than we've seen in a very long time with global markets and geopolitical tension. Okay. And when that happens, precious metals go through the roof. They're already at all time highs. But I don't, that just because something's at an all time high doesn't mean it's a bad bet. It usually means it's going to be going higher and higher. All right. So those are what I would personally be doing. And I would be investing a lot back into my business to make it as profitable as possible and to be able to serve as many people as possible. Those moves I think are timeless. Okay. Like if it was any other year and you started doing this stuff, you're going to be in a really, really good shape. Right. But in this year, I think that is the play. All right. And so that's not saying go on offense or defense. It's a different setup. You're going on offense in business. You're going on offense getting your skills up. Okay. Where you're playing a little bit more defense is you're building the habits that you need to be able to save money and for you to build wealth, right? And invest and accumulate. All right. And the reason for that is when you do have a lot of fluctuations and swings, okay, you can take advantage of those. But you can only take advantage of them if you have one, the credit to do it, and two, the cash or the access to cash, right? And so if you're sitting there and your credit score is not where you want it or need it to be, well, I would make sure that you fix that as well because that is a big, big, big reason why you can get stuff done or why you don't have access to cash. Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, everything you said obviously makes complete sense, man. And, it's straightforward and it is what it is. But to add to some of that too, um, I actually talked about this yesterday. Brad and I were talking about it a little bit. And I think to go along with habits is you guys got to have a keen awareness of that too. Okay. So what I mean by that is, hey, am I doing a good habit or is this habit terrible? Right. And I think when you start to have that in mind a little bit of your daily habits, and this isn't even just with finance, man, this is everything you do. Right. So, okay, is my workspace a specific workspace? I'm going to make sure I'm here and do nothing else. Right. Is this space over here something I do to hang out with my kids? Right. Or do something with my family. I'm going to have that awareness and make sure I set time there because it's not, hey, I'm over here and I'm just going to scroll aimlessly, or hey, I'm over here with my kids, but the phone rings and I got to go get it. Make sure your intentions behind your habits and your habit creation are laser focused. I'm actually reading Atomic Habits again. I haven't read it in a long time, and it's kind of bringing back and reinforcing some things that you kind of let slip when you don't kind of dive into something over a couple of years. I think that book's been out now, I think for almost 8 years. And, what a perfect thing to talk about. Habits are everything, guys. You don't fail based on anything else other than the habits that you create. The habits are going to get you to the consistency, the discipline, the grit, and the fortitude in order to get to where you need to be. And that's, like I said, it's not about finance. It's about everything. Right? You got to have all this stuff tied in together. You have one pillar off, it's not going to flow right. The other thing I'll talk about is Jonathan had some really good points about saving, about Bitcoin and so forth. I think real estate is going to be a big one. Now, I'm not just saying here and go jump out and be a guru and go buy real estate. I think now's the time to really start learning for people. Okay, so get in some of these rooms as well. Oh, this guy, I see that pop up.
That's an inside joke. I've been trying to get a hold of him, and he knows it for a minute. What's up, Jay?
He threw me off now. He's probably laughing at me.
Yeah, he is. He put up the laughing emoji.
Yeah, well, that's good. He's done that to me before too.
So Josiah, just so you know, brother, you get that hard wallet. Okay, get that hard wallet. This is kind of in line with what we're talking about. All right. So this is your reminder. Yeah, no, dude, you're right. The habits are everything, and people that are undisciplined or don't have the habits, it's so much harder to actually have continuous success.
Yeah,
right? Because a lot of people get lucky. I don't want to say get lucky, but a lot of people hit it and do well, don't understand why they do well, right? And they keep pushing and pushing, but without the right habits forming, having that continuous success, having that growth trajectory, it's an up and down thing, and it's always going to be up and down to a point. Yeah. But the more of an increase that you can have on that line, the better, right? And a lot of that just comes from consistency.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, like when you said somebody, if they get lucky there, luck, weird word, however you want to take it, but if they get to a certain spot, I also think they're going to peak out to wherever they go, and then that's like, oh man, I got to change something. There's a habit that I haven't developed yet to get me to that next level. It's really interesting, man. Like when Atomic Habits is a great way of breaking that down. When you really break those things down into smaller pieces, as to kind of level up and get to that next level that you're desiring to accomplish. You and I have talked about it a bunch of times. Like, let's not overcomplicate this either. Like, just win the day, man. Like, create small habits, right? Even if they sound easy, so to speak, right? In the beginning, at least you're creating momentum, but don't stick with those easy tasks too long. Okay, cool. I did it. I hit it 3 weeks in. All right, what's next? What's the next non-negotiable? What are the next critical tasks that I need to move forward? Even in saving and investing, it's the same thing. All right, cool. I've matched this goal. My revenue is increasing. My income's increasing. So now, what are the next habits non-negotiable? Maybe you can afford to bump up 5% more or 10% to put away on there. I mean, numbers are numbers. I mean, it's going to grow anyway, regardless, just from compounding. But guys, like habits, right? And I know I was before Jay like threw his little interjection there, but I was talking about real estate, man, and I think there's a lot of people, and it's unfortunate, right? Like let's get that out of the way, because I don't want to sound like, hey, you're coming in like a pack of dogs because of people's bad situations, but reality is reality. right? And people are going to end up probably losing their homes. There's probably going to be a mass foreclosure or real estate shift coming up.
Well, yeah. I mean, what do you know why or no?
Well, number one, there are a couple reasons. Number one, they're still probably in homes they can't afford because of the rental problems. Number two, they're going to get killed by inflation. Those are my two guesses. What do you got?
I'm not guessing, but
Guessing. I mean,
okay.
data points.
So those are two things that I think are absolutely here, and you're starting to see a downturn, right? That's why we say have cash on the sidelines to take advantage of some of these opportunities. And listen, sometimes you can do it very ethically. Like I saved somebody's house, right, who was upside down on his mortgage. I own the house, and he pays rent, but his family didn't have to move. He was going to lose that house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we were able to do that. We didn't gouge him. Okay, that was ethical, and that was it was a big windfall. I will tell you that with Trump signing everything about BlackRock and these institutions not being able to buy single family homes, okay, that's going to take away a lot of the demand. Okay, and when you remove that much demand, and you still have the same number of supply on the supply side, or supply going up because builders keep building because that's what they do, right? You're going to have a big, even sharper decrease. So there's a lot of different things going on here, guys, a lot. And it's just having this discipline and the habits are going to be absolutely crucial to do well and to build wealth, guys. And that's kind of what we talk about here. It's not always sexy. Okay. There's no silver bullet. Most of it is just rolling up your sleeves and doing the same shit day in, day out, and praying. And here's what I will say, guys. Some of you guys that are a little bit more ahead of the curve, okay, look to give back. That is one of the most rewarding things I do. And it's actually what's now motivating me more than anything. Okay. So look, if you can, look to give back. Doesn't always have to be financial, although financial usually is the way to get the most done as long as you're doing it wisely. You could donate time, right? Look to give back because that's something that is severely lacking. And I will tell you this, I've met some people in those circles that do donate their time, donate their money, and try to really help the world, that are some of my closest friends today that, by the way, I would never have met these people. I would never have access to these people. And I obviously didn't do it for that. And I think God put these people in my life for a reason. Right. But I took that first step and I was offering my time, my services, my capital. And it connected me with people that I never would have met that are so much further down the line than I am. And now I have them on my cell phone and we speak very, very regularly. Okay. And they have actually, not their friends, but they're also mentors and associates. And it's really helped me in business, in life. And so don't ever take that for granted and always do that when you can. Final word, Dave?
No, I mean, you're spot on what you said, like in terms of, and we've talked about a lot in the beginning of the year, getting in rooms, getting around people and going around that same thing I was saying with real estate. Like, don't do that by yourself, get around people. But like you said, do it right. People are hurting. Like, don't come in as somebody that's owned their house for 50 years that paid 10 grand for it 50 years ago. And you give them 100,000 for it when it's worth like 400. You know what I mean? Like, just do the right thing. Like, you touched on something very critical there. And I think when you have right intentions for everything, even creating habits, right? Because let's not forget about the focal point here, in this whole journey, creating habits, getting around these right people in these right rooms, always have that intention of do the right thing all the time, 100% of the time. And you won't lose, man. Like you'll not only lose, you'll be of value to the world, to the rest of the world, to the people around you, to your family, to people you associate with. That's the winning recipe, man.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thanks, share this for someone that needs to hear it, and we'll catch you on Mindset Monday. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend.
Be great, y'all.